Welcome to Love Money Talk, the show where we speak to movers and shakers in the world of money. Today I'm talking to Sarah Beeny, presenter of Channel 4's Property Snakes and Ladders, on the housing market, being a property developer, and her new online venture, Tepilo.
Well, I think I'd always been surrounded by property. My father was an architect, and I'd just kind of been around building sites and buildings all my life. It seemed this kind of natural way to go. I wanted to be self-employed, and I knew about buildings a little bit. Now's a much better time to start in property development than 2007, which was quite a bad time to start in property development. Starting at the bottom, or bouncing around the bottom, which is where I believe we are, it's not a bad time at all to start in property. What you don't want to do is start at the top and ride it down. And funnily enough, there's a lot of people who would now say, well, obviously now is not the time to develop. Whereas when the market was really hot, right at the top, everyone was saying everybody should develop. And I kind of think, no, you shouldn't do the same as everyone else. You should do the opposite of everyone else. I would definitely say that property developing, you're no more likely to get rich than you are being an antiques dealer or a car trader. You need to find something you're really interested in as a career, I believe, and spend your time and energy turning that into a career rather than thinking, that's a way to make. There's no quick secret way to make money. I've always believed that the work you do, you should do well. So if you don't have very much money, make sure you've got a really sound roof, make sure you've got a really nice kitchen. I mean, don't go mad. You don't have to spend zillions of pounds on a gorgeous kitchen, but make it relative to the house. But I wouldn't spread your money around too much around the house, because then you don't actually get any job done properly. Where we are now, I would be surprised if it crashed a great deal further down. I think we'll have little rises, little drops, little rises, little drops, and we'll sit around where we are for quite a number of years, because ultimately the housing market's in a pretty stable state compared to the rest of the economy. When you actually stack up letting property out, the reality is you really need a 15–20% return to make it work, because you've got vacant periods, you've got refurbishment, you've got a new boiler, new carpets. The general wear and tear and vacancies do take up a lot of money, plus the fact you have to obviously pay tax, you have to run a business, you have all sorts of other costs involved with it. It's not like owning a share and you just get money coming in every month. I mean, in this market, the most important thing, if you're trying to sell your house, is there's some basic rules, which are clean it, tidy up, and make sure that the front of the house is appealing. And I think that people underestimate the fact that people have got a negative or positive opinion about the house before they've actually banged on the front door. So make that a positive experience for them, and there's nothing like a good bit of cleaning for helping a house sell. Well, it was really based from being a bit frustrated that a site didn't exist whereby as a seller you could go straight to the internet, because I realised that nowadays buyers go straight to the internet. You don't no longer wander around high streets looking in shop windows. I mean, you do perhaps for fun, but not if you're genuinely looking for a house. And I thought, well, if all the buyers are heading straight to the internet, why can the sellers not head straight to the internet? And the two major property portals are only able to be used by estate agents, and that seemed a bit mad to me. The important thing is not to stretch yourself too thin, but then I have been saying that for a few years, and right now it's quite difficult to stretch yourself too thin. So that probably, I mean, I actually feel that at the moment there's a lot of people around who say it's just awful for poor first-time buyers. You're having to raise a deposit, and you're not allowed to borrow more than 3.5 times your salary. This is just awful. And I kind of think, was it so very generous for so kind to lend people more money than they were ever going to be able to repay, so that they got themselves in so much debt they didn't know what to do. I don't think that's kind. I don't think that's nice of us to do that. I kind of think if it's just little old me that's affecting the national, international economy, that's incredibly flattering, but I just don't think I'm that important. But as I say, it's very flattering to think that I have personally able to be that effective, really. But no, I don't think a television show can actually affect the economy that much. And if Gordon Brown's taking his lines from Property Ladder on a Wednesday night, we're really in a lot more trouble than we would have been otherwise. Best moments from Property Ladder is when you get a really lovely, lovely couple, or a lovely person, or a lovely family, and then they sell and they make money, and you just think, that's so lovely. And they kind of have done really well, especially when they work really hard for it, and you think, well, they really deserve it. Probably marrying my husband, I think, who has a great way of looking at life, which makes us both a little bit less unfair about finances and life in general, which makes everything a bit more fun.
And your worst?
Worst financial decision, probably marrying my husband as well, who encourages us to make really stupid decisions. And I like to make things happen, so we go and do them. I'm Sarah Beeny and I Lovemoney.com.